In this e-tutorial, we'll show how in ThinkDesign rendering environment we can apply some spatial effects to our model to create a model more similar to the final one. First, let's open the model we are using as example, chair-start. Dynamic rendering supports the application of textures to surfaces, transparencies, actual shadows and reliefs. Now let's activate the panel to manage the predefined views, and we place it. This rendering mode represents a compromise between photorealistic quality rendering and basic rendering. Rendering is performed with less accuracy in fast mode, but we can interactively rotate the model and see in real time a preview of the effect applied. The number of lights that can be applied is 8. For a better visualization, we deselect dynamic highlighting. Now, let's start setting the lights of our model. We choose high quality mode, and we can notice that our model appears in an environment with a different background. By rotating the model, we can see that some effects of shadow and reflection are automatically applied. We can see they actually are not in the real plane on which the floor of the object should be. So, from the context menu, View, Set Ground, to set the ground of our object. Reflection and shadow are applied on the fictional plane identified by the orientation of the view. To better appreciate the effects, we move and rotate the object. These two properties, shadow and fictional reflection, can be managed by the document properties. That's why, from the context menu, we open Option Properties, then Document Properties, and finally apply Ground. Let's move aside the dialog box and the chair as well so we can view it. We can notice that we can reduce reflection up to 0 or increase it up to see an image almost identical to the real object. In our case, we keep it around 25%. We can set an offset value, for instance 30 mm. In this case, we leave it to 0. To see the differences, we switch on and off the fictional shadow. Then we leave it off because we'll use lights, therefore project shadows, that are real. We apply Format Lighting. The current setting for lighting is the ThinkDesign Default 1 Light Studio. The setting is composed of 3 lights, ambient of ambient type, light 0 of distant type, and light 1 of distant type as well. First, we uncheck the Fix to View light setting. This kind of light doesn't rotate with the model, while we want lights to be fixed with respect to the model. So we deselect it. Then we switch all lights off as we want to set them one by one. We turn off light 1, light 0, and ambient light. At this step, the object is completely in the dark. We turn lights on again, one by one, starting from light 0. We set it distant type light. Let's set it and select in particular Show Handles from More Options to view the light. We rotate the chair, close the different options, and from View, Display, Viewports, 3 viewports. We are splitting our view in 3 parts, then we organize the views to display different faces of our object. We set the first one as top view. Using the arrow, we position it until we get a rotating view and adjust it, and this is our view. Switching to the second view, first we set high quality visualization. Using the predefined views, we set the viewpoint to right, and we place the chair to view it better. We keep the last view for a dynamic visualization, here as well, high quality. and we set the viewpoint to a right front view and zoom in. We slightly adjust the chair to view it better and also move the Predefine Views panel. Now let's set the light as if it's a light coming from behind the object. In the light settings, we select shadows, that is, we have them in the rendering, in order to assess the final effect of what we are getting. To better view shadows, we move objects in the different views. We can be happy with our result. Now, let's switch light 1 on and modify it in turn. First of all, we make it a spotlight. Here we are. Then we change its color into yellow and confirm it by OK. Then we change its characteristics. We set the angle to 8 degrees and the distance to 1000 millimeters. After that, we switch the direction from 2 points to a long Y, so that the handle is referred to the object. We want to move the light so that it's slightly inclined, but in front and at the top with respect to the object. That's why we shift a long Y by minus 1500 millimeters. Let's move the chair once more, and let's move upward along that by 1500 millimeters. We slightly drag downward the chair to see it better. Adjust the Predefine Views panel as well, and rotate our object. Then we click on the handle along X. Shift the chair in the top view. It's much easier to see the movements along X from the top. And move the handle laterally along X by, shall we say, 500 millimeters, so that it shifts by a side with respect to the object. We pan over the chair in the top view so that both chair and spotlight are displayed. At this step, we handle the inclination of the light. First, we rotate in the XY plane so that it's directed towards our object. We tilt it by about 30 degrees. After that, we rotate it downward so that it's incident to the object. Then, we tilt the angle by minus 27 degrees. We start to see the shadow projected over the floor, and rotate the chair to see how the shadows follows it. Once we get a satisfying result, we can confirm and go by activating the ambient light. The ambient light is a diffuse light which illuminates the object from all directions. We switch the light on. The only things we can control of this light are color, that here we leave white, and intensity, that we bring to 50. This value is enough to restore a look of the object very similar to what we had initially. Once the part is over, we close the command by OK and go back to a unique view. From Context menu, we apply View, Set Views. We adjust back the Predefine Views panel once more and save the result we have got.